leader in sports.
What a way to start the season. With all the attention on other riders, Amsoil Honda's Kevin Windham captures the opening round at soggy Anaheim. Windham's 12th career win immediately vaults him into contention for the 2005 Supercross title. Ricky Carmichael showed us all the heart that has earned him 11 titles. Now the real challenge. On a fast, perfect track, is RC still the man to beat? Yamaha's Chad Reed has some ground to make up. A disappointing Anaheim finish has left the defending champ searching for answers. James Bubba Stewart's debut did not go as planned. Crashes and bike trouble aside, the 259 was the most spectacular guy on the track. What lies in store here in Phoenix is anyone's guess. Mixing superstars like 7-time champion Jeremy McGrath and THQ World Supercross title holder Heath Voss. And hang on, the best is yet to come. 250 Supercross is next. Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona. We're in the Valley of the Sun, the Bank One ballpark, for the 2005 THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everyone. I'm Todd Harris. Cameron Steele will join me momentarily. We have got a great night of Supercross racing for you here in our second hour. Tonight it's all about the 250 class, but the breaking news right out of the gate is James Bubba Stewart, number 259 on the Kawasaki, had this accident during the last practice of the day. Upon further review and upon x-ray, the doctors have determined that James does have a broken bone in his left forearm. It is the radius, and initially word is saying that he will be out anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Cameron Steele joins me now, and Cameron, it's reverberating throughout the pits. Everyone is going to miss James Stewart, no question about that. How will this affect the other riders?
Well, most of the riders are definitely disappointed, James. I talked to Ricky Carmichael. He was bummed for him. I mean, they all want to race heads up. What does it mean for the other guys? One less player in the mix for the points championship, especially for Chad Reed, who starts down in 16th place. He has one less guy that he has to catch that could win the championship.
Well, the talent pool is still very rich here, despite the loss of one of the greatest riders of all time in James Stewart Jr. But here's what our competitors had to say prior to tonight's race.
Right now, just come in here, keep attacking, and use the same motto that I used last weekend, ride to the best of your ability and don't put it over that limit, and that was the key last weekend. I was the rider that fell the least, and coming into this weekend, I just need to be on my game and hold that for the next 15 rounds.
I just want to have the same enthusiasm as I had last week. I want to try to go out there and be on the podium. That's what it's going to take. And as you guys seen last week, there wasn't too many guys that were consistent. People were all over the place. So if I can be consistent, each point's going to add up at the end of the series. And I just want to be on the box, but definitely looking forward to trying to win also. That's a big goal of mine.
Get good start and just put good laps in together and race the track. The track this weekend looks pretty decent, and it's not muddy, and so I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to James Stewart Jr. on a speedy recovery, but we should have a great race tonight. A lot of spectacular talent on the line. Cameron, take us through the track.
And now it's time for the MX versus ATV Unleashed track map. This first corner is flat, and it will be tricky. Right into the whoops, they'll be able to skim them pretty easy. A right turn, you got to step up and over to get to the whoops. That will be a little bit interesting. Jump farther through a left turn, and then 65 feet over the triple. Big fun there. You can double, maybe triple if you want to. A few 125s doing that. A little bit of a rhythm section, and this is not an elevated corner, but this is where James Stewart crashed. There are some options in here. Watch out. There will be different lines being used. A setup jump for the triple, and then a left-hand turn, double, triple if you want to, and single into the corner, and then off the finish line jump. And that is your MX versus ATV Unleashed track map. And here are your track facts. 6,500 cubic yards dirt, 60% clay. It is looking good out there. A little bit loose on top. 2,069 feet long. And that is your MX versus ATV Unleashed track facts.
All right, thank you, Cameron, and thank you, Dirtworks, for giving us a great track here at Bank One Ballpark. Right now, it's time to check in with Jamie Little for this week's edition of Suzuki Strategy.
Last week in the 250 main, there were 12 two-strokes and 8 four-strokes. And Kevin Windham, aboard a CRF 450, took the win, so we thought he would be the man to talk to about the 450. And Kevin, you've been riding four-strokes for a while now. Why do you prefer them?
Well, I think the four-stroke obviously has great power. Power's never been one of its downfalls, but originally it was difficult to get them to handle, and Honda's done a great job at working to conquer that. And I think it's a great bike all the way around now, especially last weekend in the mud here in Phoenix. It's a little bit slick. It has great power and knows how to put it to the ground.
Let's talk about this track here in Phoenix. Where is this bike going to excel over the two-strokes?
Well, I think the track's going to get shiny, and it's going to be very important to be able to get good power down, ride consistent, and good passes through the whoops. The track's pretty competitive. People are really going to be going at it. It's going to be important to put it to the limit, but not cross over.
.250 heat number 1 staging on the line here at Bank One Ballpark. Here's how you make it to the main event. 2 heats, 8 transfer, 2 semis, 10 transfer. And then the race of death, the LCQ, where only 2 transfer out of that, Cameron. And we have got a stacked heat right here as you look at Ricky Carmichael, Heath Voss, Mike LaRocco, Nick Wade, Dave Vuillemin, Travis Pastrana's in there, excuse me, and the rest of the crew, including Jimmy Wilson, Brian Mason, Rusty Holland, and Eric Vallejo. Well, Ricky Carmichael's got a new job this week running camera for ESPN2. There's the onboard of Ricky Carmichael. Also running an onboard will be Heath Voss, the 13 bike out of Mico, Texas on the Yamaha YZ450F. Well, Cameron, pick your poison as we take a look at Mike LaRocco.
Mike LaRocco, a great finish last week. You know, in this one, I'm going to stick with my hole shot master as of late, the number 23, Kyle Lewis on the Moto XXX bike. Let's see what happens.
Oh, look at Carmichael just blowing out of the gate. Carmichael's going to grab the hole shot. Can he hold the line? He does with Heath Voss just to the inside of him. So it's Carmichael to the front of the pack. Heath Voss, the defending THQ World Supercross GP champ, in second. Nice move, Mr. Carmichael.
And big shout out to the number 3 bike. That's Rusty Holland on the number 67, just in front of Travis Pastrana. We'll see how they shape up, but our 2 onboards in front, that's got to be good luck.
Fantastic camera work, by the way, gentlemen. Get hooked up with the Union and get overtime. Carmichael out in front as we are on board with Heath Voss. Currently sitting in second place. This is 250. Heat number 1, we're going 8 laps, 5 through 20. We'll go to semi 1, 1 through 4, go to the main event. Big danger here right now, Cameron. Ricky Carmichael getting away and starting to pull away. And I want to correct, at the start of the show, we said that James Stewart did not have the fastest time in practice. He did. Ricky Carmichael had the 3rd fastest time, and now we're told that Kevin Windham had the 2nd fastest time. So all props out to James Bubba Stewart for throwing down an amazing practice fast time.
Look at this section right here. I mean, it's amazing. It's a long whoop section, and there's a bigger whoop in the middle that they have to jump off, land back in the whoops. It's really a tough section, and these guys have just been flying in. Also, look in this corner here. You can see that post in the middle of that corner. That's so they don't jump over the inside of the corner, which some of the guys are doing in practice. Naughty, naughty.
They will catch you indeed as we slide back. There's number 23, Kyle Lewis, the man that Cameron Steele thought would get the whole shot, but he's still sitting in a very comfortable position right now, Cameron. He will transfer, he stays put.
4 riders will move on to the main event. And that's good news. David Vuillemin, you're looking at right there, the Cobra, as they call him, from France, living in Southern California, the number 12 bike. And David was one of the fastest riders in practice. He came in the 4th fastest, and just about a half a second out of that fast position from
See the line he took there, where he went up high, Cameron, trying to get a drive off that. I saw James Stewart Jr. doing that, trying that, but he seemed to like the inside. Look at that. Vuillemin taking it tight with Mike LaRocco, and now it's Kyle Lewis who actually slid back just a little bit. So it's Lewis, LaRocco, and Vuillemin right now all battling out for transfer position.
And Vuillemin having just a little bit of a problem landing in that whoop section we were just talking about a minute ago. These whoops are going to be tricky all night. You're going to have to keep your momentum going. Kyle Lewis flying out into the flats there. And Kyle says he has one of the fastest bikes on the track. And right now it's looking like these guys are not able to pull on him on those straight sections.
So right now it's LaRocco and Vuillemin who are on the outside looking in. Kyle Lewis holding down the final transfer position. This is 250 heat number 1 from Phoenix, Arizona. It's Carmichael, Voss, Pastrana, and Lewis, your top 4 right now. And how would that be, Cameron, to have a semi-race with LaRocco and Vuillemin and the likes of those guys?
It's just amazing, but it's just a testament to how stacked the field this year is. 20 riders going to the main event. There's factory guys and factory support riders that may not make the main.
Who will advance on? Only 4 can go right into the main. Everyone else goes to a semi. Will LaRocco make his move? We'll find out after this. Watercraft and scooters. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. Your leader right now in 250 heat number 1 is Ricky Carmichael. Picked up the whole shot, has all but checked out. He has got the Makita Suzuki running fine. Carmichael sponsored by Suzuki, Fox, Oakley, everyone. He's got a new boot deal this year, Cam, and right now that lap time of 51.7, pretty solid, about what he was doing earlier today. But we remind you, James Stewart Jr., who is not racing tonight, if you're just joining us, he has a broken bone in his left forearm. But Stewart was throwing down the fastest practice times with Kevin Windham second fastest. And right now, Heath Voss is trying to keep up with Ricky Carmichael, but he is just about 5 seconds behind your leader Carmichael here in 250 heat number 1.
I've been impressed with Voss all through practice today. He looks so smooth, and this track really isn't the toughest Supercross track out there. And of course, all Supercross tracks are very tough and gnarly, but I was talking to the AMA guys, they're going to get progressively tougher. They want to get the athletes into it. So what this track's about is you need to really nail your landings and be on the gas, race the corners, really get everything you can out of it, because there's not really a section that someone might do that other people aren't.
Well, we talk about injury to James Bubba Stewart Jr. This man, Travis Pastrana, number 199, currently running in 3rd place, having injury issues of his own, but he's out there battling right now, much to the chagrin of his doctors right now.
Well, Travis is actually, he's getting a little feeling of David Vuillemin going inside. Wow, David Vuillemin, a clean pass, though. Great move by Vuillemin. And Travis Pastrana continuing on from what he did last week. He said, I'm going to ride smart. I'm not going to push it too hard. I'm going to get some points. And once my wrist is feeling better, then I'm going to get to the business of really racing. I was with him in his trailer just before race time, and he said the wrist is actually feeling pretty good, but I asked him about timing the whoop section. He was trying to jump through them. I said, you doing that because of the wrist? He said, yeah, but it hurts just as bad. And he's wearing a lightly wrapped cast, but that means just a couple wraps around with cast material. His trainer puts a new one on before the race each night.
Pastrana riding quite well right now. Currently in 3rd place is David Vuillemin as he moved ahead of Travis Pastrana. Pastrana sitting in 4th place, so it's Vuillemin, Pastrana, Carmichael, and Voss currently running 1 and 2. But it's so good to have Travis here on the circuit right now. He's in a transfer position, Cameron. You alluded to the fact that the wrist is damaged right now, but what a gamer to be out here running with the best talent in the world.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with the wrist problem, the bones are healed. It's the ligaments that keep moving in and out. And coming into your picture there, so you might have a little bit of company back there.
Number 27, that is Nick Way, trying to close in with just about a lap and a half to go, not wanting to go to semi, is Nick Way, part of that Michigan Mafia, currently running in 5th as we check in quickly with Jamie Little.
Hey, Todd, I just talked to Jeff Stan with Team Honda, and he said David Vuillemin took Mike LaRocco out, pushed him wide. LaRocco tipped over and broke his clutch lever, so he just packed up and headed back to the pit. We'll see him in the LCQ.
Well, unfortunate, while we're at commercial, that took place for Mike LaRocco. I'm sure the Rocky will have something to say to David Vuillemin, and I'm sure it won't be in French.
Now, look at this. Nick Way looking to the inside, playing it smart. He's going to line up. Now, he's not going to have the line going through these whoops, but he is looking for that final transfer spot. And Travis, this is the section that's been giving Travis a little bit of problems with the wrist. Watch him carry the speed off the jump there, and he's going to protect his line. See how Travis dives to the inside? He's not going to leave any openings for Nick Way. Looking over. He knows Nick is there. And Nick pushing. You see that pushing into that section.
Your winner, 250 heat number 1, Ricky Carmichael, does it with about a 6-second buffer, but this is the battle on the track for 4th place. Travis Pastrana currently holds down the final transfer position. Can he hold off number 27, Nick Way? And Nick is coming hard.
Looking back again, Travis knows he's not there. He takes the line he wants in the Byrne. This is all Travis. There's no way that Nick can catch him unless Travis had a huge problem, and that's going to do it for the transfer spot.
So Travis Pastrana gets the 4th and final transfer position, but the win goes to Ricky Carmichael. 250 heat number 1 goes into the books from Phoenix, Arizona as we take a look at the Rocky Mountain MC results. It's Ricky Carmichael with the win, followed by Heath Voss, David Vuillemin, and Travis Pastrana gets the 4th and final transfer position. Let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, Ricky Carmichael prevails on top of the podium on a dry track. Ricky, you looked extra excited to take this win.
It was nice. You know, I got a good start and just trying to reel in good laps. I know the next heat's got the big boys in there, and I was trying to put in really good ones so I could try to get the fastest heat.
Real quick, Ricky, what were your thoughts when you heard that James wasn't going to race tonight?
It's a disappointment. You know, as a racer, competitor myself, I want the challenge. I want the best guys out there, and our sport needs them too. You know, they need all three of us out there, and it's a shame. But you know what? Better that it happened now than halfway through the series and him miss, you know, Supercross and outdoors. So, you know, I know my team wants him to get healthy quick, and look forward to racing him.
250, heat number 2, staging on the line from Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix. As we take a look at the starting grid, there's Kevin Windham, number 14, on board the Honda. He won last week in Anaheim. The defending champ is number 22, Chad Reed, on board the Yamaha. And there's the second page, and the second page has a lot of talent as well. You factor in Buckaloo and Keith Johnson. And it's interesting to see Chad wearing the red. Normally we see him in the blue of Yamaha, but he's got to deal with Thor that they're going to let him wear a little different color every now and then.
For sure, and there's Kevin Windham. He is the fastest rider riding tonight in practice. He put down the best lap times. And Chad Reed and Jeremy McGrath out on the parade lap did side-by-side knack-knacks, in case you're wondering.
All the reason you'd want to come to one of these live events. They are fantastic. 250, heat 2 off the line. A lot of red to the front of the pack. Oh my! They call him Showtime. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath to the front with Chad Reed just to the inside.
And McGrath will take the line, but play nice with Chad Reed. McGrath was faster in practice laps than Chad Reed by 1 spot, so we'll see what happens with these two great riders side by side.
They say Chad Reed could be the second coming of Jeremy McGrath. Well, the book is not closed just yet on McGrath. He is back and looking sharp. It is Chad Reed that'll take the green flag as they come through, and Jeremy McGrath currently sitting in second place.
And it's interesting to watch Jeremy not falling exactly in the same line. He's looking to the side just a little bit over those lines, a little bit sliding out there in that corner. You're going to have to be spot on perfect to do battle here. These two guys are so good. And when we talk about the lap time, McGrath was 4th fastest and Chad Reed 5th fastest after you take out James Stewart.
Coming through that section right there, Jeremy McGrath was laying it over like a super motard turn. Yellow flag is out for riders who have gone down in that first lap through the whoop section. And here's Kevin Windham making his way through the pack.
So Justin Buckaloo on the Moto XXX bike on the number 73 got passed right there. Didn't have the momentum in the whoop. Right now on the inside comes Ernesto Fonseca. Justin Buckaloo.
Fonseca's 24, so he's in the mix. 73 is Justin Buckaloo. A great start for him, Cameron. As you pointed out, he was sitting in 3rd place. And number 26 right there is Michael Byrne on board the Kawasaki.
And he spent a lot of time injured, and you see Buckaloo looking over at probably the toughest guy in Supercross, Tyler Evans, aboard that Bloodshot Skaterade Suzuki.
Well, they are bunched up in the front of the pack. It is Chad Reed, number 22, then Jeremy McGrath, number 2 in 2nd place, and Kevin Windham, your winner last week in Anaheim, currently sitting in 3rd. There you get a good look at the dirt, a big improvement on what they were racing on last week with all that rain. And look at this, Kevin Windham trying to get past Jeremy McGrath. McGrath will pin him high and come out first in 2nd place, but it's McGrath trying to hold him, and looks like Windham's got the inside line.
He does, and you saw McGrath start to look to that side, going to the left, and he decided not to do it. He left it for Kevin Windham because they would have come together and probably both crashed going over that last hump into the corner.
Jeremy McGrath showing his wisdom right there, so McGrath slides to 3rd place, still transfer position. Number 14 is Kevin Windham, just going through your picture, and that is Jeremy McGrath. So it's Reed, Windham, and McGrath, 1, 2, and 3, and Kevin Windham, he did not get a great start, Cameron, but he has worked his way up through the field now into 2nd place. Currently sitting in 4th place in the final transfer position is number 24, Ernesto Fonseca on board the Honda. But coming fast is Michael Byrne, number 26, on the Kawasaki. Can Ernesto Fonseca hold off Michael Byrne, the Australian? It'll be interesting because Michael Byrne, another great rider who had some good practice time. Ernesto Fonseca feeling the heat. 250, heat number 2 from Phoenix, Arizona, off and running. Your leader, Chad Reed. But can Ernesto Fonseca hold off the hard-charging Michael Byrne? Stick around and find out. We are back in Arizona, 250 heat number 2 right now. Your leader, number 22, that man, Chad Reed. He did not get the hole shot. He took it away from Jeremy McGrath, who has slid back now to 3rd place. But Chad Reed continues to lead. And an interesting fact, Cameron, you touched on this. Chad Reed finished 16th in the opener in Anaheim. Well, back in 2002, Carmichael finished 20th and went on to win the title. So some good news for the defending champ in Chad Reed.
Well, he definitely has a long road to hoe, though. Coming from 16th, the way the points are set up, there's not that many extra points set up if you win the race over 2nd and 3rd place. So consistency of another rider, Windham, Carmichael, whoever it might be, causes Reed a lot of problems.
But the possible loss of James Stewart, if you're just joining us, who broke his arm in practice earlier today, will probably likely be out for at least a month. And it is such a loss for the fans, for everyone here. I know the competitors like Ricky Carmichael want Chad, and they want James to be in there too. The fastest in the world, no question about it. But right now in 250 heat number 2, it is Chad Reed out in front with Kevin Windham in 2nd.
Oh, looks like Fonseca.
He slid back.
Must have had a crash there or something. He wasn't going very fast. We saw Tyler Evans wing right by him. A couple riders getting by.
So Ernesto Fonseca, as we went to break, was trying to hold off Michael Byrne. That has all gone by the wayside as Byrne has moved out in front of him. Kevin Windham continues to maintain 2nd place with Chad Reed out in front. And Jeremy McGrath currently sits in 3rd, a transfer position. Ernesto Fonseca was running so well, Cameron. And as we went to commercial right before we came back, we'll take a look at exactly what happened with Ernesto.
And Ernesto jumping into that section. What they're trying to do is they're cheating it on the inside. This is exactly where James Stewart crashed as well. Ernesto held it together. James went flying through there off the motorcycle. They're trying to, this is the section right there. He was trying to jump into it from that inside off the edge of the berm. Kind of like trying to squeak it through there.
Yeah, James was doing it at such a high speed. Well, James does everything at high speed, but it was amazing to see him try to get through there. As the white flag is out, we are on the final lap here, 250 heat number 2. The final transfer spot is up for grabs, and is Michael Byrne, who's trying to make a run, but he has got Tim Ferry right behind him. Good to see Ferry out there on board the Yamaha, number 15, closing in quick.
Well, Ferry out last year with injuries to the wrist. He goes to the first race of the year, and he misses the main event in the mud. Frustration. He didn't even get to ride the seated rider practice. It's been a weird week for Tim. I know he wants to score some points, and he wouldn't mind moving into the main event right now.
Well, meanwhile, the checkered flag is out for number 22. Your winner, 250 heat number 2 in Phoenix, Chad Reed. But we'll slide back and follow this to the very end. And look at Ferry. He is on the gas hard, trying to close in on Michael Byrne. He's got one more turn to get it done. Can he triple through here?
He's going to jump in there.
He's going to try to come in. Just comes up short. So Tim Ferry runs out of real estate, and it's Michael Byrne who gets the 4th and final transfer position. But your winner in 250 heat number 2 is that man, number 22, Chad Reed. There are your official results, 250 heat number 2. It's Chad Reed with the win. Kevin Windham gets 2nd. Jeremy McGrath gets a 3rd place. He'll transfer to the main event. And Michael Byrne holds on to 4th. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, Chad Reed's out there mixing it up with his idol, Jeremy McGrath. Chad, what's it like for you out on the track looking over and there's MC that you're passing?
Oh, it's great. You know, when I got here in 2002, he had a real bad year, and you know, we really never got to battle. I was in the 125 class and just done some race on the West, and man, it's awesome. I'm so happy for him to be out here, and all the fans love it. You know, I just want to give a shout out to all my sponsors, all the guys at Parts Unlimited, Thor, Scott, you know, all the guys at Ants Mobile, and I'm just having a ball. You know, last weekend was old news. We're ready to move forward.
We're moving forward, starting over.
That's it. New weekend.
All right, Chad Reed starting over here, guys. Send it back on up to you.
And our congratulations to Chad Reed on that victory. We will see him in the main event. A lot of great Supercross racing action coming your way. January 23rd, our next televised race from Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be great indeed. Right now, it's time to go one-on-one with the man they call Showtime MC. Just don't call him slow. It's Jeremy McGrath.
Initially, I didn't know I was going to come back. It was just, you know, my relationship with Honda has been great. I've been doing some testing, Supercross testing, outdoor motocross stuff throughout the last year and a half, and it kind of just evolved into that. Of course, it's a high-risk situation for me, and I don't think I'm going to catch any flack or maybe disturb what I've done in the past, you know, take away from any of the reputation that I've built for myself. And part of riding a limited season is because of that. I mean, I don't want to jeopardize anything that I've done in the past, and racing a limited schedule allows me to come back and race, and I'm sure there are some people who think it's probably not a good idea, but you know, I think I still have some speed, and you know, with a little bit of fine-tuning, I've really come a long way in the last, you know, 2-3 months, and so that makes me excited, and I'm not chasing the title and some of the things that the other guys are, and so I don't think I'm going to catch, you know, flack for that, and good or bad, I think people are just going to be happy that I'm there, and most of all, I'm happy.
Great to have Jeremy back as we take a look at the 250 Semi-1 GameStop results. It's Mike LaRocco, Nick Way, Eric Vallejo, and Sean Hamlin. In the Thor 250 Semi-2 results, it's Ernesto Fonseca, Sebastien Tortelli, Jeff Gibson, and Tim Ferry. And in the Samsung Wireless results for the 250 LCQ, it's Tyler Evans and Damon Huffman moving on to the main. Coming up next, it's the main event. Will the night belong to Ricky Carmichael, or will the defending champion step up and take what's his? Find out after this.
The battle for the Bachelorette.
Buy today at eloan.com.
Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. We are in Bank One Ballpark on a beautiful night here in the Valley of the Sun. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little, and it is a sellout once again. The sport keeps growing and the fans keep arriving. Attendance tonight, 49,000. Just under 50,000 folks here have turned out. And unfortunately, James Stewart Jr., if you're just joining us, will not be racing tonight and may not be racing for several weeks. And that sign says it all. James Stewart, number 259, quite possibly the most talented rider, had this misfortunate accident in practice earlier today. He went down hard. He broke a bone in the left forearm, and that was the word we got from Bruce Sternstrom as we look at another angle at it. James not doing anything he doesn't normally do. I know a lot of people say, oh, this kid's going to crash, he's going to go down, but this is James Stewart. It could have happened to anyone, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little for this Honda Pit Report.
Well, Todd, you and I were both there and witnessed Buddy Rice take the 2004 Indianapolis 500. Here he is at Supercross. Buddy, you fit right in with all of us here.
Yeah, it's great to be out here. I mean, this is excellent to be able to come to my hometown track and be able to check it out.
So who are you rooting for tonight?
I know RC's looking really strong right now, so I think that's my pick.
All right, Buddy Rice driving 220 miles an hour, and here he is checking out our sport of Supercross.
It's the 250 main event from Phoenix, Arizona. We've got 20 riders going 20 laps as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. And right off the bat, you notice James Bubba Stewart not there if you're just joining us. A broken bone in his left arm. We wish him the very best. He will be sorely missed. Carmichael's here, as is Reed, Voss, Windham, Vuillemin, McGrath, Pastrana. It's a who's who of 250 racing minus maybe the most flashiest and fastest rider in James Bubba Stewart. Cameron, what are Cameron's keys for the victory?
You got to maintain your speed in the whoops. They're a little bit tricky, but you got to go fast, consistent. You got to be good on your timing. Land everything smoothly and get going and strike quickly. You cannot wait. It's a very one-line track. If you're going to make a pass, get in there and make it.
Well, the track just had final maintenance as we take a look at Ricky Carmichael. There is the defending 250 champion in Chad Reed. Well, there are your past winners over the last 4 or 5 years. It's Windham, Lusk, and Carmichael went back-to-back, but we are racing 250 main from Phoenix. Ricky Carmichael with a great inside line, but it's Voss to the outside, and it will be Carmichael picking up the Butterfinger Chris pole shot. Ricky Carmichael to the front. This is oh-no time for everyone else. Do not let him get away if you want a shot at him. He will not make the same mistake he made last week. And look at Kevin Windham blitzing through the whoops. So it's Carmichael, Windham, Voss, and McGrath top 4 with Chad Reed now in the top 5.
And it looked like Voss had an opportunity maybe to jump underneath Carmichael there in that turn, but he didn't do it. Windham is by, and Kevin Windham was the fastest rider in practice. And there goes Voss getting squirrely and almost going down. He almost took Chad Reed, collected Chad Reed with him.
Carmichael out in front on board the Suzuki, saying he'd want to give Suzuki a victory here in Phoenix tonight. But Kevin Windham is right behind him, and Windham is the winner was the winner last week, pardon me, in Anaheim, California, under very different circumstances. And look at the exit speeds of Kevin Windham. Look how he gets out of the corners.
And the difference in lap times in practice, 0.3 of a second is all that separated them. Windham just a little bit faster than Carmichael. And Carmichael unloading on that berm.
Ricky Carmichael, number 4, on board the Suzuki, number 1 position right now. Number 14 is Kevin Windham on board the Honda, and this is a great battle. Carmichael picked up the Butterfinger crisp hole shot. It looked like he had the line camera, and then it was going away, and he got it right back.
He made a great play. All the big hitters lined up way to the inside. You see Tyler Evans trying to jump to the inside as well, way in the back, but it was Ricky Carmichael who had a great shot. Kyle Lewis sliding out on that flat start corner.
There's a tricky corner right there. A lot of riders going for the high line, trying to ricochet off there, but not Carmichael, trying to protect his lead, and Windham maintains right behind him.
Well,
looking for a spot to get around him.
In the past, people had talked about Ricky Carmichael's weakness possibly being the whoops because he's not as tall. Some of the other riders can't get as far back on the bike. And they also talked about how he squatted his bike out in the past. He's added more to the back shock, meaning he's not cutting down the shock anymore. So he's getting more suspension travel in the rear, helping him in the whoops. But Kevin Windham has looked brilliant in the whoops all weekend.
Well, they both look brilliant right now. Your leader, Ricky Carmichael, right there, number 4 on the Suzuki. Number 14 is Kevin Windham. Remember, he picked up the victory last week in the muddy conditions of Anaheim after Ricky Carmichael fell, and Windham never gave it back. But this is the tricky section right here. Carmichael protecting his line as Kevin Windham tries to find a way around him. This is the battle we were kind of hoping for. It's Ricky Carmichael and Kevin Windham together again. Chad Reed trying to work his way up to the pack, but right now it's the Suzuki and the Honda going head-to-head on a perfect track, and Carmichael starting to pull just a little bit away from Kevin Windham.
Well, one interesting note is Suzuki has never won the 250 main here in Phoenix. Oh, Ricky! Wow. Trying to scrub some speed there, and he looked like he almost pointed it out to the tough boxes.
Right, here's Heath Voss coming into view, number 13. Then Chad Reed, number 22 and 4th. Then Ernesto Fonseca, number 24. He rounds out the top 5, and behind Fonseca is Jeremy McGrath.
Well, in this lap, Chad has moved up one spot past Fonseca, but he needs to get right past the number 13 bike, his teammate on the factory Yamaha. He needs to make quick work of this to get up to that lead pack. Those guys are running away. Ricky and Kevin are more than a full straight away from him.
And Heath Voss, this is kind of surprising. I mean, he is the defending THQ World Supercross GP champion, but here comes Chad Reed, this time to the whoops, got it dialed in. Voss goes helmet cam, and Chad Reed gets the pass.
Goes up underneath him, playing it pretty clean, but Chad definitely meaning business. I was talking to Ricky Carmichael in his transporter earlier in his semi, and he said, you know what? I just really want to get a win under my belt here on the AMA series, and the momentum will take off from there.
No question about that. Suzuki looking for something big as we get a look at number 13, Heath Voss, trying to get his position back from Chad Reed, but Ricky Carmichael is out in front. His lead over Kevin Windham just over a second and a half, and the silky smooth stylings of Chad Reed now coming into play, but it is Carmichael leading the way in the 250 main event. Will Reed be able to track down the top 2, or will this be the night that Ricky Carmichael puts Suzuki on top? Stick around and find out.
A smile.
Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. Bank One Ballpark is the scene for the 250 main event. You are looking at Ernesto Fonseca, who currently sits in 5th place, trying to close in on Heath Voss, number 13, who is in 4th. Ricky Carmichael is your leader, starting to pull a bit of a lead on Kevin Windham in 2nd place as we watch the best battle on the track at this point. It's Carmichael, Windham, and Reed, the top 3. And here is Heath Voss and Ernesto Fonseca as we check in with Jamie.
Well, we just saw Ricky Carmichael and Kevin Windham lap Mike LaRocco. There's some bad blood going on with LaRocco and David Vuillemin. They took each other out early in the race. Once again, that's the 2nd time tonight. Also, Travis Pastrana crashed hard. He rode off, favoring that that left hand that's in a cast that was broken and dislocated. Tough night for Travis Pastrana.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Ernesto Fonseca and Heath Voss continue to battle out for that 4th and 5th position. Meanwhile, Carmichael continues to lead and turning some pretty impressive lap times.
Yeah, taking a look at Carmichael's last lap of 51.6. Very solid. No one getting under 52 other than Carmichael. We did have a very fast lap from Windham at one point in the race on the 4th lap. He was under 52 as well.
There's Tim Ferry, number 15, behind him, the legend, number 2, Jeremy McGrath. He goes to that high line, tries to slingshot around. Unable to get around. Look at this, right on the bumper of Tim Ferry, number 15 on board the Yamaha. Here comes Jeremy McGrath, number 2.
This is 6th and 7th place, so MC has been saying he's got the speed to go top 5, he thinks, and he thinks he also has the training. And MC getting by on the outside. Tim Ferry showing him a little bit of elbow in the corner. MC looking back. What up, Joe Dimes in the house?
Oh, Jeremy McGrath giving the Lance Armstrong stink eye to Tim Ferry as he goes through. Now Ferry will try to stay with Jeremy McGrath. Good to have McGrath back on the circuit.
And McGrath can continue to make moves. Voss would be the next rider ahead of him, but you see Ferry had a little bit of a hiccup in the whoops. McGrath goes up around the outside. Timmy not giving up the line, though, at all.
And there's Jeremy's look back, a la Lance Armstrong. Meanwhile, Tim Ferry now cutting off the back end. He goes up high, tries to slingshot around. McGrath will have none of it. Jeremy McGrath currently running in 6th place. His last lap time just a hair over 53 seconds, and Tim Ferry thinking that this guy retired.
And you see Timmy trying to jump into those whoops. It didn't look like he could keep his momentum quite as good as McGrath did there, and he slips back a little farther.
Well, it has been a strange turn of events this last few weekends with having Jeremy McGrath back in the circuit, and we lose James Bubba Stewart Jr., quite possibly the heir apparent to many of Jeremy McGrath's records. Believe me, you will hear from Bubba in the near future. We wish him the very best on his recovery. Meanwhile, this is Jeremy McGrath currently running in 6th place. Your leader is Ricky Carmichael. Kevin Windham in 2nd, and Chad Reed is in 3rd. Fonseca runs 4th, Voss in 5th, and then Jeremy McGrath. Well, Carmichael got the whole shot, Cameron, and pretty much ran for 4 or 5 laps very tight with Kevin Windham, and now he's starting to pull a bit of a lead.
And the last time Suzuki had a win, we talked about how they've never won in Phoenix. The last time they had an AMA win was by Larry Ward, January 30th, 1999, in his home race, which we're going back to this year in Seattle.
Yeah, Phoenix has been rich in history, and the riders who have come through here, guys like David Bailey and Ezra Luskin, had great performances in Phoenix. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're just close to the Sonora Desert or what, but tonight is paying off for Phoenix.
And you can see there from Ricky's helmet cam, there are a couple rocks lingering on the track. And look how he was working that section. He was blitzing in practice at times, and it looks like he chose a different style line. He's jumping in and rhythming through that a bit more. Yes, he's skipping a couple of them, but he's definitely jumping through them a little bit differently.
We are on lap 12, scheduled for 20 here at Bank One Ballpark, along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little. I'm Todd Harris. This is the 250 main event. Your leader, that man, number 4, the all-time winningest rider in AMA history, is Ricky Carmichael out in front.
And Ricky throwing a little bit of a whip there, trying to scrub the speed. You can take a look back. Windham coming into play. He's not that far back, just under 5 seconds. So that's quite a long time unless Ricky makes a mistake. And we know Ricky can hang it out long periods at a time without having a mistake. And Ricky's also famous for hanging it out, having a little mistake, but keeping it together.
Kevin Windham continues to run in 2nd place, trying to find the combination that'll put him ahead of number 4, Ricky Carmichael. He sits in 2nd, Carmichael sits in 1st, and Chad Reed is in 3rd. That's your top 3. We'll see if that's the way it shakes down when the checkered flag comes out. Stick around, more from Phoenix after this.
Call us today.
Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. That is Ricky Carmichael. This is the 250 main event, and Carmichael's lead has now grown to nearly 5 seconds over Kevin Windham. So it is Carmichael out in front. Windham sits in 2nd place, and Chad Reed in 3rd with Ernesto Fonseca rounding out the top 4. And you look up the word determination in the dictionary, and I think you'll see a picture of Ricky Carmichael. He wants this win. He needs this win.
And you see him reaching over on the triple jump, making a little adjustment to the clutch. Not a lot of adjustment. Sometimes you see riders rolling that. It's a roll lever on top of his lever. So basically, he can adjust the clutch on the fly if it gets hot, or if it cools down, he can go back and forth. You see him making a little adjustment. Totally normal.
There's the gap between Windham and Carmichael. As Ricky Carmichael goes through, Kevin Windham now comes through, and there's yellow flags out because Tyler Evans just went down extremely hard in the whoop section, and that's part of the area that a lot of riders have had trouble with, hanging it out. It's a high-risk, high-reward area, and this time Tyler Evans just miscalculates. The bike comes up short. It looks like, Cameron, he was entangled with another rider. Some other rider got involved with him.
And Tyler was running in 12th place when that accident happened, so just hoping the best for Tyler. Our Asterisk medical crew, some of the best in the world out there taking care of our riders.
Well, unfortunately, Doc Bodner and his crew have been very busy this weekend, first with James Stewart, then with Jimmy Wilson, and now with Tyler. Tyler Evans, number 47 on board the Suzuki. He is down. He is moving, but he is not moving very quickly. Wish him the best, and we'll try to get a report to find out what's going on with him. Meanwhile, as we go back in the field, Jeremy McGrath, who was sitting in 6th place, has now found himself, he has slid back one position. He is now currently running in 7th, and there's 27, Nick Way.
And Nick pulling up near the king, Jeremy McGrath, and we've seen some battling back and forth out here. And Nick, I was talking to him earlier, he says his conditioning is really good, and he wants to really work hard at the end of the motos is what he's saying. So I'm expecting to see Nick really put a push on here at the end.
Nick Way right now currently running right behind Jeremy McGrath on the left side of your screen, Way number 27. And then you've got the next rider coming into view. It looks like it's David Vuillemin on the 12 Yamaha also coming into play. Talking about David Vuillemin, here's a guy who got bagged a lot last year, Cameron, for his fitness. And he did a lot of off-season training, dropped some weight, and looking very good.
I almost didn't recognize him. I mean, really, he is chiseled. And I'm not saying he was fat before, but he definitely wasn't working as hard as he did. And a slip-up by McGrath.
So McGrath makes one mistake, and Nick Way jumps on it. Nick Way can add that to his resume. I passed Jeremy McGrath. Not many people can say that. So Nick Way slides up a position. Jeremy McGrath goes back one, and now it's David Vuillemin. It doesn't get any easier for Jeremy McGrath, but it's good to see him running the top 10. Jeremy McGrath, it's just good to see him on the circuit. Will he let the inside go to Vuillemin? No.
The Cobra trying to sneak a wheel in there. That's what they call David Vuillemin. And it looks like he's going to the outside here. He won't have position to pass unless he just has a much better run in the whoops, which he did. Dives to the inside. McGrath has to cut the turn short.
Well, we questioned David Vuillemin's fitness in the past years. Jeremy McGrath, knowing that he's on a limited schedule, do you think he's running the same fitness level as a Chad Reed or a Ricky Carmichael?
Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody's running the fitness level of those guys. I mean, they came into this series so fit and trim. McGrath looks good. Those guys have been going nuts with the training.
Yeah, no question about it. This was the year that was built up to be the greatest of greats. And Jeremy McGrath just wanted to join the party, and we are so glad to have him here right now, currently running in 8th place. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath. There's your leader, number 4, Ricky Carmichael, lapping just about everyone in the field as the white flag comes out. So Carmichael, in all intents and purposes, will take somewhat of a parade lap. And I know Ricky and Olin Baker and the rest of his crew, they're saying absolutely not, Ricky. Pour it on.
Well, the question here is Ricky's been known to have some fun. We saw him in Canada throw the no-footed cans and having a little bit of fun with the whips. Will we see that here on the last lap?
Carmichael, he is stoked, pumping his hands in the air while he also runs an ESPN2 camera. Ricky knows what's about to come. Good to be back indeed, says Mike Gosler, but it is Ricky Carmichael on his way to a first victory for Suzuki here in Phoenix, and Carmichael did exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to come here, he wanted to get a victory, as Cameron pointed out. He wanted to get the momentum rolling for Suzuki. Congratulations, your winner, 250 main from Phoenix, Ricky Carmichael. So Carmichael does it in Phoenix. We come back, we'll find out how RC did it and find out just how happy he is. Carmichael, your winner in Phoenix, leaving no doubt about it. Welcome back to Bank One Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona, the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. What a great 250 main, especially if you're a Ricky Carmichael fan. As we take a look at the Honda official results, it's Carmichael, Windham, and Reed, your top three. Ernesto Fonseca and Heath Voss round out the top five. Let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, Chad Reed is back to where he knows, which is comfortable, but it's not your favorite position. Third, Chad, take us through tonight. There's been so much pressure leading up. This is the big race tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and I had a good start and trying to just, go with the front guys because this track's really fast, and on a fast track, it's really tough to make up time. So, and then just, Voss made a bit of a bobble and just came right across in front of me. A couple of guys got by, but, I'm definitely happy with the podium rather than a 16th. So, we have a long season ahead of us, and we're just going to work hard. And, all my sponsors are taking by me. All the guys at Yamaha, Parts Unlimited, Thor, all the guys at Amps Mobile, and Etnies. I'm really happy for those guys.
It's now time for the Nissan turning point, and for Ricky Carmichael, the whole shot was everything.
Well, it all turned really bad for everybody not riding a yellow number 4 Suzuki. The first corner, he put the lights out on everybody. 99, Ricky Carmichael, total dominance.
Right now, let's send it back down to the podium and Jamie Little.
Well, Kevin Windham is staying consistent and keeping it very tight, 1 point difference. K-Dub, you had Ricky right in front of you, so close. Take us through your run.
Yeah, on one side of the track, I was making up some time on him, and on the other side, he was making time on me. And he really was getting through the whoops good tonight. I was struggling a little bit with him in the main. They started getting chewed up, and he just started inching away. And, my Honda was working great, and Amsoil, Chaparral, Factory Connection, Napster, and all my sponsors were just, they had me going. He inched away from me, and it was all I could do to just stay where I was at and keep Chad at bay and just keep it consistent up here on the podium.
It all culminates in Las Vegas, Nevada, the first week of May. You'll want to join us there as we take a look at the THQ World Supercross GP point standings. It's Ricky Carmichael and the THQ AMA Supercross Series points. It's Kevin Windham. With that, let's send it down to Jamie.
Ricky, it has been 6 years since Suzuki won a 250 race. Is Roger crying yet?
Not yet. He gave me a big hug. I'm really excited for them, and myself, but I wanted to get it done for them so bad, and really happy for Team Suzuki.
Very exciting night here, Suzuki, big night, and Ricky Carmichael gets the monkey off his back. Remember, guys, he's the underdog.
So it's Ricky Carmichael and Brock Hepler giving Makita Suzuki a great weekend. Our next show comes to you January 23rd, 2005, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. Great Supercross racing action. Cameron Steele, your final thoughts.
Ricky Carmichael said he needed to get on a roll right away, and I think the roll has begun. Ricky Carmichael looked dangerous before the night got started. Now he goes out the victor. Very scary.
On behalf of Cameron Steele and Jamie Little, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Phoenix. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Your winner, Ricky Carmichael.